What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Likes. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. My Twins, they suck. It's really hard to watch. Pablo Lopez, great outing. Cedric Mullins says good night, goodbye. Ball into the atmosphere, whole thing. But either way, we're going to move on. Just 5 games here on Thursday. That is for sure. That's wild. It's going to be a quick one. That's for sure. Why did I say that's for sure 3 times in the intro? I don't know. Let's find out. But I've got props to start things off. I do have a lock on this one. So that's going to be fun to talk through. And then we'll get to the evening window where there's a play I really want to make. Just haven't pulled the trigger on here yet. Hoping the line doesn't move before I make up my mind. Should probably make up my mind. Check out BetMGM, friends. Check out Odd Chopper. We'll talk about him later. But producer Jacob, it's going to be a quick one, my friend. Yay! Woo! And then NBA will be back on Friday. We'll both of the play-in tournament finales, so that'll be cool. And then we have NBA playoffs on the weekend. Ooh, Saturday's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. Maybe we do a pop-up video. You guys remember those from VH1? Jacob doesn't. He's a child. Anyway, producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. One day we'll figure out why this camera turns off here once we start with these graphics. But today, friends, is not that day. Today is the day that we have Griffin Canning going up against Ryan Pepiot. Woo! Yay! If you guys noticed, Ryan Pepiot has actually been pretty good, but we're going to try to pick on him with one guy because he's kind of a god. First off, Griffin Canning, this is a brutal spot. 603 expected slugging, 18.2% K rate. Just not the guy who was promised. 4.01 expected ERA last season, 4.32 ERA. Massive regression thus far this season. Can I also throw out this? 8 barrels in 49 batted balls. A 16.3% barrel percentage already with not zero sample size. It's still small, but wild stuff to be looking at here. 459 WOBA. I don't like anything with this 4-seamer changeup. He is in a lot of trouble taking on a Rays team that definitely has power, and with great power comes great responsibility or something. I know Brandon Lau out probably helps a little bit. Right, Brandon Lowe, Nate Lau. Always have to remember that. Brandon Lowe. Bybee, for the people who know. Pitch better. Anyway, Griffin Canning here. Not going to be somebody we back here at plus 130. Not going to be the dog I want to back on this card. Maybe it's Ryan Nelson. We'll talk about that one. But Ryan Pepiot, formerly of the Dodgers here. Pretty decent stuff here. I like the pitch mix overall. It just so happens that 30.8% K rate I don't think is going to maintain. 42.5% hard hit percentage. I think that probably does. And he's a fly ball pitcher sitting around 20 degrees, which leads me to this. I have a number of home runs we're going to talk through here through the next 2 games because I think there's a lot of opportunity for them on today's card. But I want to at least throw out 2+ bases for a guy who's absolutely smashing in the early portion of the season. Should come as no surprise. I read on Twitter, they're like, it's like a Ferrari in a garage eternally. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much the life of Mike Trout with his 623 expected slugging, 418 xWOBA, 291 expected batting average, and 25-degree launch angle. He knows about the launch. He's aware. You'll want to do it into the midnight sky, or in this case, the Tropicana ugly dome. Well, we're going to look at 2+ bases here because I saw around even money here for that. Against a pitcher of Ryan Pepiot's caliber, I think we're going to get plus money, and I think you're going to want to invest in such things because I don't believe that he's going to have around a 30-31% K rate. Although Tampa Bay, many times they go out and get Zach Eflin and turn him into a K artist. Pick out, these random dudes that come from nowhere, and they just retool them and make them godsend. But in this instance, the god himself is Mike Trout. 2+ bases. Going to avoid the home run number because I bet it's going to be pretty short. So this is a prospective play, but I put lean like over in there because probably going to be on the card. I'm really excited to talk about this one. The Texas Rangers, the Detroit Tigers, and we have former elite prospect out of Vanderbilt, Jack Leiter, getting his first MLB start. Now, it's a little bit later than you might have anticipated. You might have remembered him, College Baseball World Series. That whole dealio, he was very good with that Vanderbilt team. Vanderbilt's been good in baseball forever, for those who don't know. College baseball starting to catch on with the people. It's becoming more prominent as we can really hype up some of these prospects that make sense. And then they can have a year off when they have injuries and stuff like last year for Jack Leiter. But anyway, 2021, he was drafted, number 2 pick. I think this is going to be very, very fun to watch in some capacity. Now, Jack Leiter has kind of shown what he's going to be throughout the couple of years. First, Kenta Maeda, we're not going to worry about him so much. We know exactly what we're getting with him. 353 xWOBA, 15.9% K rate, 34% hard hit percentage. But Jack Leiter, he is a 6'1" guy that generally had some pretty decent heat once upon a time, but he has strikeout stuff. Now, 10 strikeouts in 6-inning pitch there in that last outing, pretty darn good. But what comes along for the ride are the homers. He's already given up 4 home runs now in 3 games in the minor league level this season. He's getting called up because, well, Texas needs to find somebody as a 4th or 5th back end starter here. And I was going through some of the Zips and Steamer projections and then landed on the bat. And the bat does think Jack Leiter is going to be a little bit better. For those who don't know, Derek Hardy, very sharp guy who puts the bat together, the Bat X as well. You can check that out on Fangraphs for the year-long version. There's another site you can check out for, the DFS side of things. But somebody that I do respect when it comes to how he handles prospects, he's a little bit higher on Jack Leiter, would appear, than the industry consensus is. And that kind of gets me excited to maybe try to snab an upside right from the get-go. But there's something that comes with it here, because I do think hard hit is going to be something that he deals with right from the get-go. And Detroit, not the best of ballparks for it. Wind's blowing out ever so slightly to left here, maybe an Apo Taco for somebody. But I think looking at the K rate, I think he's going to be around a 9 Ks per 9 type guy. So you're looking around a 25-ish% strikeout right here. And I think Jack Leiter, we might want to make an aggressive play based on where this number opens. I'm thinking 6 Ks. We could go to the lean direction on that. And then Kerry Carpenter, I kind of want to take for the ride as well. He's made the card once previously this season. He did not hit a home run, which was sad for that one. But I think the profile for him is really, really good. Should be in the middle of this order. 428 xWOBA, 316 expected batting average. The whole thing, bat on ball, 632 expected slugging because we're looking for the homer, and a 20.1 degree average launch angle in 35 batted ball events. That, friends, if it gets up in that streamlined Apo Taco season, can I just call an Apo Taco for Kerry Carpenter? Is that a real thing that I can do? I don't think you get paid any more or less for it, but Kerry Carpenter, I think, is a really interesting play here in the lean-like category, because I'm going to be looking at a lefty here. Doubt it's going to be Riley Green. Zach McKinstry is pinch hit risk. Spencer Torkelson's been awful to start off the season in a lot of ways. Maybe Matt Vierling as well with the 53.6% hard hit percentage, but I think Kerry Carpenter is going to have a better price attached. Speaking of the price attached to it, OS Premium Tools, friends, when you look at the positive EV board over there, you're going to find really, really good things, since it's all relative to price at different sports books. That's the market-based approach. You look at DraftKings, you look at FanDuel, you look at BetMGM, you compare them to sharp books that we perceive as sharper. We have an algorithm that helps us build out how that should be weighted. And then we get you the best plays every single day, back-tested for profitability. It's $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. But if you use promo code Lindy, Lindy, that is my name. Expert Picks Discord. Yes, the Discord as well. My premium picks. I'm going to be there early in the morning. It's going to be great. Glad it was really, really light here on Wednesday's card, because there was some figuring out process. I'm really starting to figure out where I want to be going here very, very shortly, taking advantage of the things, friends. But premium Discord, that's available to you. Nathan Joyce has been smashing in some of his plays here recently, so you want to check those out. Premium tools as well, all in one package. Promo code Lindy, that's $12 for your first week if you sign up below. Back to the picks we go. Speaking of prices, we do not have them, but we do have pitchers here, which, again, it's a perceived pitcher in Mr. Chris Wells, so that is not officially confirmed here by any book, and therefore, we don't have a price. But I will at least throw out that Chris Wells, this is going to be somebody that gets some opportunities. He had 4 innings pitched there against the Angels on the 13th. He can turn around a little bit quicker than most. Again, they're not crazy concerned with him at the moment. He's a big 6'6" guy. You look at the fastball velo, though, hasn't really shown up a crazy amount here. He's throwing a sinker like 88. He's a soft tosser based on his 2023 data. So just throwing it out there. If it ends up being Cooper Criswell, he's not going to be able to get by this Cleveland lineup here that against right-handed pitching just does not strike out. 19.4% K rate so far through 516 plate appearances. But we're actually going to pay attention to Carlos Carrasco. I think he's one of the more enjoyable stories here on the season. If he does end up having a renaissance season, that would be awesome. 293 expected slugging is great. 208 expected batting average is great too. 2.9% barrel percentage. Check. But the K rate has precipitously fell here, 20% K rate, 16.4% walk rate. There are some blemishes there, although a 3.68 expected ERA, decent start for him. But going back to last season, he had a 6.77 expected ERA. We were going to back him in a spot that got rained out a week or so ago, but as such, it's not that I'm going to go back him at any sort of price that's going to be plus money, although I doubt we're going to get plus money. I bet it's probably the inverse here, where Carrasco is going to be favored in some capacity. I think we should be looking at some of the lefties going up against Carrasco based on last year's numbers, and that creates an opportunity with Tristan Cassis, with Rafael Devers. I think they're both leans. Again, want to be looking in the prop market at this one. Doubt there's going to be anything I can take advantage of. Was looking at a couple of offshore books, trying to find what this number is going to be. There's a little bit of a discrepancy based on what I'm seeing here right now, so don't want to talk too much about the price for it. Maybe it ends up being something. It's all about probability and price, but as it stands right now, I think Tristan Cassis, anything better than plus 425 and anything better than plus 400. Is that right? Plus 400 for Rafael Devers. Can you tell? I have it on the iPad today. Browser's being weird. Friends, we have reached the lock portion of the program, and I gotta say, it's an interesting one because AJ Puk was somebody the very first game out of the gate, didn't know what to make of him. We're starting to figure out who AJ Puk is going to be as a starter. Now, he was an elite southpaw reliever last season for Miami. 3.04 expected ERA, 32.2% K rate. Friends, friends. Fastball velo, 93-94. We're seeing the four-seamer usage come down, the sweeper come down, the sinker have to go up here as a starter as he's facing more. Again, when you're a reliever, friends, you're going to be able to get called upon either in high leverage situations, sure, and that you're not going to be able to pick the handedness, or you're going to get a lot of handedness advantages because that's what managers do. They try to give you those kind of spots. If you're facing the Dodgers, try to find some of those lefties, run into the Muncy Outman if you're going to be 5, 6, 7, something of that nature. Now, again, Jameson Taillon on the other side here for the Cubs. Don't think that this is me going out of my way to say that I want to be backing him in some kind of a massive capacity. 462 expected slugging, 38.4% hard hit percentage isn't terrible. 10.7% barrel percentage scares the crap out of me. But friends, this Miami offense right now, with the wind blowing in at Wrigley tomorrow, I was looking at potentially an under here, landed on 8, that key number of 8, probably going to be sticking away. Plus, this Chicago Cubs offense is firing to a certain extent. Not just this Michael Busch, although that'll be left on left. We'll see if he's in that lineup. Probably should with a 746 expected slugging against everybody. But Christopher Morel, Ian Happ, Garrett Cooper, Cody Bellinger left on left. I don't really mind all that much here. If AJ Puk is not going to be generating swing and miss, I'm really worried about him with this walk rate. 24.1% walk rate, and then he's eventually going to get hit up. 19-degree launch angle off the bat here so far. Has been very good at reducing the hard hit, but there's so many righties they can make him pay here. Now, it is blowing in, should lower the variance of this game ever so slightly, but we're getting a price here around minus 150 that I expect to be minus 165, minus 170 come first pitch. Because even though I don't love Taillon and not normally the guy that I would be locking as a starting pitcher here, Miami is so decrepit here in terms of WRC plus that I think you just have to find ways to put them on the card. Miami 90 WRC plus, not the doldrums, 137 ISO, and yeah, 23% K rate should be decent enough to maybe generate a couple swings and misses here. Oh, Jameson Taillon, can't believe I'm about to do this, but I do think this is the much better lineup, the better bullpen, the better team. Ooh, and AJ Puk, you could just watch in 24% walk rate. We've got problems there. We want to take advantage of them here earlier rather than later. The Cubs money line, your lock of the day on Thursday on this 5-gamer. Again, I've got a unit on it, so there you go. It is an actual official lock. There we are. Good talk. Glad we had it. Let's talk about this first bet safety net over at BetMGM up to $1,500. So whether it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, I could just go up increments of 20 and kill all of our time here. But what I'm saying, friends, is no matter how much money you have at your disposal with your bankroll, you can sign up at BetMGM and know that you're getting a bet in, and then you're getting it back in bonus bets if that bet loses. That's a pretty great deal and gives you an opportunity to take some big long shots if you're looking for it. Looking at a plus money play would actually be looking at maybe an alternate line if they have one available for BetMGM for that. But either way, we're looking at something nice, big, and plus money to be able to attach to this first bet, mainly because if it comes back to you, well, that increases your expected value by just taking the larger shot. So check out the first bet safety net over at BetMGM. If you have DraftKings, if you have FanDuel, if you have Caesars, if you have Bet365, add BetMGM to the portfolio down at the link below. If you're 21 and over, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. To the last pick, or to the last game of the night. Let's talk through this one because I do think that there might be something to mine out of it. Again, I'm going to kick myself if this moves, but we have on the board plus 145. There's a plus 150 lingering out in the marketplace right now, and I've just been staring at it, not sure what I want to do. Think I want to take it, though. Ryan Nelson going up against Logan Webb, and Logan Webb, the ground ball rate, 50.6%. Not so bad. But that's a little bit higher than we've seen in recent years for him. Now, this is an evening game in San Francisco, and Mark Twain once upon a time said that the coldest summer he ever spent was coldest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. And it's technically like almost summer, so it's almost technically a joke, but that's not actually funny, so it's not a joke. And yeah, but the launch is starting to come up a little bit here for him. That's the whole point. 62.7% ground ball rate in 2023. It's at 50.6% this season. It's, again, still better than the average Bear, but this is a better Arizona lineup here. They get Jock Peterson out there against the righty, which kind of I think is kind of an improvement against some of the righties that come out to play outfield for them in those scenarios. So for me, I think Arizona gets the bump up in terms of the lineups. Now, Jung-Hoo Lee, been good right out of the gate. Lamont Wade, just back to doing Lamont Wade things. Michael Conforto, Jorge Soler. Not saying that they don't have a great opportunity against Ryan Nelson to inflict some damage as well. 43.5% hard hit for him, 462 expected slugging. But this is just a straight out price thing. If I'm getting 1.5 to 1 here on the Arizona in this spot in a low variance ballpark, I think Ryan Nelson is actually worth it to go and invest my hard-earned money on here. But I'm going to call it a lean for the time being, still wrestling with myself. And I'm also a little bit worried that this line moves in some unpredictable way. I have no idea what other people are going to do here. If I miss the boat where it's plus 150 and all of a sudden it drops inside of plus 140, such is life. I'm okay keeping it off the card. But if you're looking for evening exposure, I think the dog is the right way to go about it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely little 5-gamer we have. Very quick, very easy. But again, got to talk a little bit more process with the people. That's what I care about over the long run, is teaching you how to bet, not necessarily just giving you out the bets. It's the whole give a person a fish they eat for a day. Teach a person to fish they eat for a lifetime. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's why Odd Chopper exists, friends. That is your boat that you take out on the lake and fish with. I think that analogy worked. Producer Jacob, thank you so much. We'll be back with NBA and MLB on Friday for a lot more stuff. That's for sure, friends. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Thursday.